Go.
Okay. What's up, everyone? It's All You Can Geek Gamescast episode 353. I'm Mike, and today we have Tony.
Yo.
And Corey.
Yo.
Jim is missing.
In action.
No, he's just missing.
He's on the... We got his name and face on a milk carton, so if you see him, please call the number.
Yeah, well. But we may be hearing from him later on a different cast, so if you're interested in Spider-Man, we'll have a spoiler cast somewhere around the release of this episode, so look for that and see if Jim is found then. Anyway, we have a little bit of news today on the Gamescast. We'll start with Telltale annoying people. Will they or won't they announce Wolf Among Us 2? What was the actual news with this one? I don't remember. I just know that there was some vague quote, and you guys couldn't really decide what it meant.
Their official Twitter said announcements coming soon at San Diego Comic-Con, which is going on this week/weekend, and by the time you're listening to it, probably already started. But then one of the prominent voice actors who has done, a major character from Wolf Among Us retweeted it, but he's done minor roles for other games, so people just kind of thought like, oh, maybe this is, Wolf Among Us 2, because we've been waiting that for years at this point.
Interesting. So, no real information, but Jim was pretty pessimistic about this on Slack. I do recall that much.
Yeah.
Telltale just has so many things going on right now. And I just don't know, and people are getting kind of sick of their formula, I think, as well. It's not the same as it was with the original Walking Dead games.
Yeah. It just... I don't know, they feel very samey after a while.
But I guess we'll see. Alright, moving on, I guess. Titanfall 2 is going to get 4-player co-op?
Yep.
That sounds awesome. I mean, Titanfall 2 is ridiculously good. And if you guys haven't played it, you deserve to play that game for yourself. Because watching it doesn't even, do it for you. You got to play it. The mechanics, they just nailed everything from the first game, made it better, and then put a campaign in that makes sense and fits in the world and that actually is worth playing and worth spending money on. It blew me away, and we talked about it in some of our favorite games of last year. But getting 4-player co-op sounds awesome.
That's a pretty big feature to add this late in the game.
Yep. I mean, it's just... That's going to get me to get this game again, because I beat it quickly, and I traded it in.
I did trade it in as well, and Best Buy had it on its deal today.
It's like $20, but I have it still, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I almost bought it then for $16.99 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The Gamers Club Unlocked, and I didn't do it. But you still get it for $20 anyway right now, so...
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm super excited for that.
Will they have, a dedicated, 4-player campaign for this as well, or what?
It's not a campaign, it's just a mode.
A mode.
It's going to be I would assume it's going to be a horde
probably
mode. But it's still, the mechanics of the game are so much fun, and the competitive stuff is fun, but it gets old after a while. So to do it with your friends in a co-op setting, in a horde mode, I always found that to be much more enjoyable, in Gears of War and stuff like that anyway. So
that's just an acquired taste. I sort of think the opposite, but that's just me. Uh-oh. Jim may be missing for a long time. Anyway, I might skip this, talk about that later. So, Jedah from Darkstalkers is going to be in MVC Infinite.
Did we know this?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
because all the entire roster was leaked, right?
Right. So we sort of knew, quote, air quotes here, knew that was on the leak list, but they officially announced it during the Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 stream or tournament finals on EVO this weekend.
So I was gonna say, like, nothing from Marvel vs. Capcom is gonna get me excited because there's nothing to announce that's gonna be different than what we already know, and the story mode demo is god awful, and the game looks like shit. Like the gameplay is fine. It's not terrible. It's fine, but it looks like shit, and I just don't want to play that because I don't want to look at it.
Yes, visuals are a big part of a game experience. It's not just that, for me, it's just the whole principle of all the characters I actually want to play as are going to be in DLC. Who knows when and for who knows how much, so... to this game. And I don't know who this character is anyway.
I mean, it's not one of the Darkstalkers that I think of first, but it's cool to see Darkstalkers, I guess.
Alright. Okay. Anything else on MVC Infinite, guys, you want to chime in on?
I think
there's just not that much to say anymore about it. Like,
yep.
When is that supposed to come out again? September?
September.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh well. It's getting soon now, and they're not going to overhaul it, I think, within a month and a half, so it's not going to look much different, I don't think, than what we've seen, which is a shame. Anyway, so this next piece of news, I have no idea what any of it means, but I'll read it. Arc System Works announced Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle.
Arc System Works, I have to say, is probably my new favorite fighting game developer.
Yeah.
Just
they're firing off.
They're killing it. And Blaze Blue, or is it Blaz Blue? Like, I never.
I don't know.
I would think
Blaze.
they would say Blaze, but who knows?
That's what I thought, and then I heard. Anyway, the way that they developed that game, I think last year or maybe probably early last year or something. It was like a 2D game, but it was with 3D characters. But it looked like 2D animation, but because it was in 3D, they could do like some crazy camera moves that you couldn't do with a 2D game, and it just looked amazing. Now I didn't ever get to play it really, just because I haven't really gotten into a big fighting game that much. But they've got Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Fighters, whatever, coming out, which is using that technology. And now they got this thing, which I'm sure, Tony, you probably will know a little bit more about.
Well, so this, I think, actually, I don't know if it uses that same style that we're talking with Dragon Ball, because it looks like they ripped the sprite exactly from Yu, who is the YU, is the main character from Persona 4 Arena.
It looks a little better.
Does it?
Yeah, I remember playing that because I have it on PS3.
Yeah, so do I.
It looks a little better.
See, I thought it was just a sprite rip, kind of like how
Capcom
did with
maybe it just
MVC
looks
1
better
and 2.
because it's in like this game engine.
Yeah, it's just probably higher resolution or assets.
Yeah,
just
fair enough.
Because I think it's going to be a not cheap and dirty, but like quick and dirty, where it's just like, yeah, we got all these other fighting game characters because we use the same base engine, and we're just going to create a crossover game because fuck it, why not? Everybody else is trying to eat Capcom's lunch with Marvel vs. Capcom, so why shouldn't we? Twice.
Seriously.
So, yeah.
What, like the big character reveals though. What do you got there?
For
who's in this game?
Yeah, so I mean, you got the Blaze Blue characters. You have Persona 4 Arena, Under Night In Birth, which is something I don't even know about. But then they have characters from the RWBY universe, which is like one of the hottest new things in anime in the past couple of years. Mm-hmm. So people are getting pretty hyped over that.
That gentleman who created that actually passed away very tragically. But so they have all of them in it, or just is it all
those 4 franchises?
I mean, like all characters in the.
I'm assuming we will. They only showed off, I think, Red. Mm-hmm. Okay. Fighting off against whoever, but yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be pretty cool. At the very least, it's going to be very flashy because that's pretty much their style and stuff like that. So that might be interesting. It's it's going to be a cramped year next year for fighters. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. They also the guy that created or did the Street Fighter EX series has got a game coming out with Skullomania in it. So,
yeah, people love that character. I don't get it.
I just think it's because it was so not Street Fighter.
Yeah.
But there's no name on that. And it came out on April Fool's this year. Like, they released the trailer for it. So people weren't sure if it was real or not, but it's definitely real. And it's something, so I don't know. It looks interesting.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot going on there, and I don't understand or know about most of it. But that's cool. Something I am familiar with something I'm less familiar with is Toy Story is now going to be a world in Kingdom Hearts 3.
And that game is finally coming out?
Who knows?
No.
What will be out first, Toy Story 4 or this movie? Or this game?
Toy Story 4 is happening, so we know that's going to happen. This we know is in development, but it's been in development for...
ever.
Yes.
I still think it'll probably beat Toy Story 4, but I don't think it makes... Because they announced it's coming out in 2018. I'm really suspect of that. We'll see.
It was at D23. It was interesting. But, yeah, it's hard to believe that it's happening. That's the thing. Yeah,
but then... I think one of the guys, it might have been Nomura, said in an interview we're still farther ahead with I think the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Oh, jeez.
And as we covered not too long ago, they just brought that back in house and took it from whatever that studio is. So I don't know how that bodes for that project, but if they're farther ahead on the Final Fantasy VII remake, doesn't instill confidence if he's being truthful. But what they showed was pretty cool. Looked awesome. The internet got pretty hyped for it.
Why did they turn into toys like that? But
because it's Toy Story.
But the Toy Story characters weren't all blocky.
Maybe. I don't know, man.
That was weird. I just thought it was kind of weird.
Come on, why is Sephiroth in a Disney game? That doesn't make sense to begin with.
No, I know. It just seemed weird that they turned into nutcrackery type of characters, while all the other characters were very round shapes and not hard edges. I just thought that was kind of weird, just contrast. But it was cool to see those characters, and it was weird to hear them in Japanese because this whole trailer was in Japanese. And it's wait, what are you speaking Japanese?
That's not Tim Allen.
They do get some pretty good matching tones though. The voice actors that do these characters sound very similar to the characters that they're portraying, the actors what's his name, Ares or whatever, what James Woods' character from Hercules, he sounds like James Woods, he's just speaking Japanese.
James Wood speaking Japanese. Interesting.
Yeah. But it was pretty cool. There's a lot of fan art, and one of them was, what's his name, Sora going off and explaining what he's there to do, and then it just shows Woody going, "You are a toy." It's just because apparently, per the canon of the game and the Toy Story movie, this takes place between Toy Story 1 and 2? Or between 2 and 3? Something like that. It's 1.5 or 2.5, I forget like that.
I would like between 1 and 2. I feel like 2 sort of ruined the story a little bit. I like that universe to be post 1, but at pre-2 a little bit.
No, confirmed. Takes place after Toy Story 2. It's not a parallel world from the movie. The incident that happens in Kingdom Hearts 3 is canon story in the Toy Story movie universe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot to consider.
Yeah.
So in Toy Story 3, all these toys had some crazy, fantastical adventure that they've experienced at this point. Okay.
Yeah. But what he was saying was that Nomura did an interview, and he's saying that because part of the aspect of the Toy Story is Sora was in this giant mech, giant for the toys, that is. And he goes, yeah, that was something we planned from the beginning that I told the staff. And other floors in the Toy Story universe will have different gimmicks. But that's kind of where I was alluding to in the movie cast, where somebody posted there were just memes coming out all weekend after this announcement, and it just shows Sora in the mech, and a picture of Goofy just kind of looks like he's dead or injured or whatever, and it goes, there's a caption that says, "Pilot the mech again, Sora, or otherwise Goofy will have to do it for you." And it's just going back to that Evangelion, mindfuckery. So that's pretty cool. Another world that we already knew about, but they explicitly stated this time, was Big Hero 6. So that's pretty cool. I think they're still doing that animated series for television.
Yeah,
for that. So
I think they actually announced the premiere date recently too, so that's coming pretty soon.
Yeah. And what else? The number of Disney worlds is smaller than Kingdom Hearts 2, which I think disappointed a lot of people. But they said that the density of each of the worlds is bigger, so that it feels more, you have immersion and stuff to do.
Just
right.
less places to go.
Yeah. So, it seems pretty cool. And I gotta say, out of all the stuff that they could have announced for Kingdom Hearts 3, this is one of the few things that actually makes me go, shit, I might want to play this game. The other thing they could have done is actually tied it in with either Star Wars or the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So.
Right. What have you played the other games, rather?
I rented the first game on PlayStation 2 years and years and years and years ago. I played through it. It was a little rough around the edges. The gummy bear ship sequence were god-awful. But I made it to the Colosseum fight where you had to fight the Cerberus from the Hercules universe. And I remember fighting this boss for a while, because I don't know if I just didn't get the battle system, or maybe I wasn't supposed to go there so soon, but I was fighting this boss for what seemed like forever, and the camera glitched and got stuck behind a pillar, and I couldn't move it no matter what I did, so I couldn't properly evade or dodge or position myself, and so I died, and I said, fuck this game, I'm never playing this again, returned it, and haven't looked back since. So
now you're looking back.
No, I think if anything, I'll just watch a Let's Play and just be like, yeah, I'll just play the new one. I mean, it's amazing how convoluted the story is for Kingdom Hearts, because it's fucking half Disney. I don't understand how they came up with a story that is so effing confusing. I mean, just the numbering of the games doesn't make sense either. Like Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2,
those numberings are
Dream Drop
awful.
Distance, whatever was on the DS, 1.5, 1.8, yeah, whatever, Final Mix, all this bullshit, Chain of Memory. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Count with real whole numbers. Fucking integers, motherfuckers. It upsets me. And it just doesn't make sense. I don't understand how anybody follows this. But yeah, that's my little rant on Kingdom Hearts. But it looks good, so maybe it'll be a good game.
I mean, I love Disney, so I've never played these games. I have always wanted to check them out. I just never got around to it. But I have wanted to play them because I like Disney so much. But we'll see if this does come out. If they actually give it a date and we see it this is happening.
The other thing that I wanted
to go back and see about the other ones.
The other thing that I kind of wanted to talk about was, it rubbed me, I don't know why, it just didn't sit well with me back in the day when Kingdom Hearts 1 came out, that all these characters are being voiced by the stupidest celebrities they could pull. Like, who the fuck was Sephiroth? Was it Lance Bass? I need to
Possibly.
Look at
That sounds about right. Please stand by.
Yep,
For
Lance
research.
Bass.
Yep.
Lance fucking Bass is Sephiroth. I mean, come on, really?
Well, it sounds about right to me.
Why does it sound right to you?
I don't know.
Why does it
Look
sound
at
right
him.
to you?
Look at him.
Have you played Final Fantasy VII, Mike?
I know what the guy looks like.
No. Have you played it?
No, I don't play these games, but I know what they look like. I think Lance Bass should probably voice every character in that game.
So
You'll have to say to Lance Bass and him, bye.
Yeah, bye. Oh, God, it's so stupid. I think, Mandy Moore did Iris, however you want to pronounce her name. I was like, really? You're just getting all these, poppy celebrities.
I really like listening to audiobooks, and some of the people that do these narrations are ridiculously talented, and they just jump from voice to voice and are so, it's like pleasing to hear because you don't know this person. There's not a face that you can put to them, so they are these characters, so when you do get these celebrities, and we talked about it in the movie cast with Scarlett Johansson and Ghost in the Shell, sometimes because they are so popular, they kind of pull you out of what you're doing because you can't immerse yourself into what the world is because you're just thinking, this is Randy Moore or this is Lance Bass or something. So I can understand that aspect, and I'm not a big fan of getting a celebrity name just because that might sell more copies. I'd rather get somebody more talented. Kevin Conroy, you don't get him because of his looks. You get him because he sounds like Batman.
Exactly. Now, I mean, the thing is, I don't think they've used them since the first game, or maybe the second game. I think it's all new, actual legitimate voice actors. And I think part of the reason was because, again, half of it was Disney, and I think all those voice actors were on the Disney payroll, so they probably got them at a cheaper or,
that's
whatever.
A good point.
So, yeah. But, whatever. That's my rant on Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, and then the big news, well, maybe not that big, but it's interesting and we're not sure what it means. Casey Hudson, the disgraced writer of the ending for Mass Effect 3, which is what most people remember.
The writer of the ending, but he was the game director of Mass Effect.
The majority of the flack for it and pretty much quit the industry shortly thereafter.
He didn't quit the industry, he went to Microsoft.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in any event, the same thing.
Prodigal Son returns.
Anyway, he's coming back to BioWare as basically he's going to head up the entire company now, which is kind of a promotion, I believe, compared to what he was.
Well, since he kind of went into obscurity at Microsoft, sure.
Yeah, so what does this mean? I don't know. But BioWare
touched on it though, Tony, in the Slack chat. He's coming in here to make sure that Anthem is going to be, it's going to be the big hit that they all are expecting it to be. And I don't necessarily know if coming in at this point does that.
No, I think. Well, I think if he's going to make any drastic changes, it's kind of late for that.
Well, that seems to be their MO lately, anyway.
No,
do things a little too late. Which is also why I think maybe he is supposed to resurrect Mass Effect.
I mean, just to correct you, he's coming back as a general manager.
Okay.
So, I know Jim's really excited about this news. But, I don't know if it means as much as he's kind of implying that it means. Jim, that is.
To me, when I think of him, I think of Mass Effect. So the good and the bad with that. So that's why I think, do you bring him back to try again with Mass Effect, or is he really there just to do that?
Why are we entertaining this thought?
Why wouldn't we? It's the
Mass Effect is
guy,
fucking
and you
dead.
just said it's too late for him to do anything with Ansem.
Dead.
So what is he there for?
It's fucking dead.
There's no reason for them to bring him back for this game that they've worked on.
You think he doesn't have any talents that are applicable at all outside of the Mass Effect universe?
No, because what did he do at Microsoft?
Oh man,
what did he do at He's primarily a writer.
Is he though? I thought he was more game director.
Well, is it really so different?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He's not coding. Is he coding?
No, but but that's the thing is I think it's like getting, Martin Scorsese to make a movie. You don't necessarily need him to write the movie. You just want him to make the movie so that way his vision is displayed on screen of what that script is. And the same thing here is this guy has vision as far as what a game should be and how it should be, feel when you play it. Unfortunately, like you said, he got a lot of the blame when Mass Effect 3 happened because it was his direction that ended up being the biggest problem because we all funneled ourselves into a single point of there's
exactly.
no
You
choice.
blame the head because they're responsible. And this is coming at a cost because the fucking old general manager, Aaron Flynn, is leaving. And why is he leaving? Oh, because Mass Effect Andromeda, the project that he was heading, just bombed. I mean, it just makes sense. It literally writes itself.
So, the thing is, like, I don't necessarily think he's coming back for anything Mass Effect either. And I do think he is there to make sure the same mistakes aren't made. But I just don't understand what there is to be excited about. Like, I don't see that. Because we already know he directed a game that basically caused a shitstorm and was terrible for a lot of people. Not everyone, but most people. And so why would you bring that back? Like, why would you want that back? And
that because I honestly see the only reason why you would want that guy back is if you want something from the original Mass Effect trilogy back.
You know he's been with BioWare since 2000, right?
So
well, I mean,
So he worked on like tons of games before Mass Effect?
yeah, he worked on what, MDK2, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, that too, and then
Baldur's Gate 2, Neverwinter Nights, Jade Empire. These are all big games, very critically acclaimed games, Mike.
and then half of his freaking games are Mass Effect. You have 4 and 3. 3 are Mass Effect. Okay.
You have 5 and 3.
Whatever, man. It's the same thing. Roughly half. Sorry, one less than half of his
Less than
resume
half.
is
So
Mass
use the
Effect.
correct term. Less than half.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm correcting you.
You're being pedantic about this. Most of what he is known for is Mass Effect. That's what he's
I
done
think
lately.
it's- to
you.
And he's had a lesser
To
role on
you.
those earlier things, but fine. Pretend like that matters. Not at all. Okay. He's the Mass Effect guy. That's what he's known for. Now. So,
I mean, it is an industry of what have you done for me lately, and so I can see where you're coming from, Mike. But you can't ignore what else he's been doing.
the other things he's been doing, he was in a lesser role. He's the
Possibly.
project director of Knights of the Old Republic, so that was his first big thing. Then Jade Empire, and then all the Mass Effects.
But you don't see me going, oh, wow, man, he must be making a new KOTOR because he's coming back. Nobody's drawing that conclusion.
So, just because one just failed, that guy who failed it left it.
Yeah.
That is what this studio is known for. This guy comes back, and you can't see how that can be a logical conclusion.
Nope, not under EA. It's dead. It's fucking dead.
Well, I think I can see both sides of it. So.
And then we're going to put all of their eggs in this new IP Anthem basket, which is setting itself up to fail so much by trying to go after exactly what Destiny is. I don't see the logic behind any of it.
Why Destiny makes Activision Blizzard money?
But the logic, though,
and they
doesn't
have
to be there,
that
Mike.
market corner.
You're looking at it from a standpoint of like clarity here, where these companies are looking at other companies making tons and tons of money.
I know,
from
but
a
I also
specific
know
thing.
that companies tend to not want to go bet on a new IP as much as something that's established. Even if it's stumbled lately, you'll get a sequel before you'll get a totally new IP from someone like that. And then they bring I don't know. Like, him coming back, I think, increases the percentages of more Mass Effect going forward. That's all I will say. I'm not saying it's for sure, but I think him specifically coming back to this company increases the chances.
Well, everybody. I mean, I could see that, I guess, but I don't know. Like, it's hard to think that Mass Effect's coming back anytime soon. Not when EA has other stuff that they're working on that we haven't even seen yet. So there's a lot of stuff that's in the works already.
And the other BioWare team was dissolved, so if it does, it ain't happening for quite a number of years. Quite a number of years.
Unless it's something small scale, like a mobile game or something. That could be.
Oh, yeah, that could happen.
Yeah.
Mass Effect Waypoint or some bullshit.
Maybe all of BioWare will go mobile before then.
I mean, Anthem's going to either be the big success that they are hoping for,
or a company ender.
or exactly, that's my point.
I mean,
or
that's the
BioWare
thing,
will not exist after Anthem fails.
Is that really what they want to do, or they're not going to, have a backup plan?
They're betting big. This is a big bet for them, and studios do this a lot, and a lot of them close. I mean, Kurt Schilling had the studio that he built, and
that was
came out with the game and
his
failed
first thing. The game didn't even fail. He just didn't know how to do the finances around it, and he owed Rhode Island a bunch of money or something that he had to pay after it failed.
Tons and tons of companies close because their games fail.
Yeah, I understand
that. EA is making a big bet here that they're going to be able to get a reoccurring revenue from the Destiny-style game, Anthem, and that this game is going to have a quote-unquote 10-year lifespan, so that you can feel confident when you buy it that there's going to be content for a while.
Until they make a sequel 3 years later.
They're going to keep throwing shit at you to buy during that time. Emotes and shaders and costume packs and skins. I mean, everybody wants a piece of that pie,
Yep, it's moving more towards the game as a service industry. That's why
they have to support it too.
Right, exactly. You're EA. You have the money, whatever you want to cost, however many millions or hundreds of millions of dollars a project is going to cost. You can either fund something like Anthem, which will have a 10-year life cycle. You can monetize the shit out of it with expansions and, like you were just going over, skin packs, whatever the fuck you want, and make loot crates and shit like that, and make money. Or you can fund another potentially disastrous project like Mass Effect Andromeda, which is just a garbage fire.
They're still supporting the multiplayer because they're making money there, though. But that is that service.
Right, exactly.
But they have that option with that franchise as well. It's not like it's mutually exclusive. And if they made a good multiplayer with it as well, what could they do? As opposed to a pretty cut and paste one.
They're distancing themselves, obviously, now.
Not with the multiplayer. They're still supporting that with a skeleton crew and even adding stuff.
Because it's low risk there. They've already done it. It's bare minimum to upkeep that kind of stuff.
Because they don't have anything else as well. Like, until Anthem hits, they have nothing. So it's sort of like, well, we need to get a reoccurring revenue stream. So we're going to keep this thing going until we can get that other thing up and out for people. And that's really what I see in Andromeda being right now, because you're not getting single player campaign stuff. You're just getting multiplayer stuff. And that's kind of a shame for Mass Effect fans.
No, I'll say it here. I think anyone who likes the Mass Effect franchise should not buy Anthem. Because screw that.
Yeah, because if you don't buy Anthem, BioWare is definitely getting fucked. Not buying Anthem will not help you get a Mass Effect any sooner.
Yeah, well, whatever.
I think we just talked about it, Mike.
Yeah, well, whatever, man.
That's what they deserve. I mean, they deserve to get fucked.
We just talked about this,
abandoning fucking a Mass Effect halfway through doing a half-ass job.
Sell,
if they don't get it, then fuck them. Good, fuck them. They chose wrong.
Well, they chose wrong by being bought by EA.
Well, yeah, that too.
Those guys, like the heads of BioWare, are just sitting pretty. They're fine. They're like, we're done. We've washed our hands of all this shit.
I gotta say, like, objectively anyway, what I've seen from Anthem is not that interesting, but I don't particularly like the
scripted bullshit right now. We don't know anything about it.
And I'm not in love with the games as service, like, as the core mechanic style of game anyway.
The thing is, like, games have not changed in price, like initial price point, for like 20 years.
I know. I wrote an article about this.
Have to have another way to make money, because they're just getting more expensive, and we keep saying this over and over again. Like, games are getting more expensive, and they're not costing any more. So you have to have ways to recoup that money, and the easiest way to do it is like tap into people's innate gambling, like something shiny and new, and like, I want this one, and keep buying and buying. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for Destiny too, and that's coming. And that's gonna be the same thing. So,
Yeah.
beta
If
starts
anything,
this week.
Yeah. If anything, I actually don't think it's too much related directly for Anthem with Casey Hudson. I think he got brought back to make sure that the next Dragon Age doesn't kill that franchise as well. Because we know that's being worked on.
Well, was the last one Inquisition?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was alright, I guess. Although I think you hated it.
Yeah, terrible.
It's not.
It was the closest thing that you were going to get to Mass Effect.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't worth my time.
I literally just played that game because I was missing Mass Effect at that point. And I got sort of that feel from the characters,
Right. Well,
but that was
it.
it.
Medieval fantasy Mass Effect.
Oh, yeah, and I don't like that setting too much, but I dealt with it for the just having that style of game, which they only did about 40% right for Andromeda, and they did it maybe 60% right for Inquisition. Well, whatever. Hopefully he can do something that doesn't destroy them, but I don't really have any faith in Anthem going forward. Alright, so I think that's it for the news. Did we find anything else?
Not noteworthy.
Alright. I guess we'll get into what we've been up to. Anything, Corey?
Well, I did play a teeny bit of Ratchet and Clank on PS4. So I was setting up for Game of Thrones, and I needed to test out my sound system, and let me just throw this in here. And it's pretty fun. Like, the platforming is really cool in that game. I kind of miss just having a platformer like that. I didn't realize I did, I guess. Because I haven't played that many recently. I can't even think of the last one I played, so of that style. So it was fun. It was cool. So I'll probably, go through that. I think it's a pretty short game. And it was, really cheap during that digital sale that they had, that midsummer sale or whatever. So it was $7. But I know, Tony, you're going to want to talk about this as well. It was the Splatoon Splatfest, right?
Hell yeah. Yep.
So, played that, and it's definitely a vertical slice of the game, as they say. So, you're getting the core mechanics, you're getting to get a feel for what you can expect in the full game, and I like what I got to play. Unfortunately, Tony and I weren't able to play together. We even tried to get one of our listeners, Aaron, on there, but you had to have a squad of 4. And so, unfortunately, we only had the 3 of us, so we weren't able to actually play as a group. And that's only for, I think that's only for the Splatfest? The demo?
Yeah, it's only for the Splatfest. And it's weird because for the Splatfest, I think they said to let you do 2, but not 3.
But we were trying to.
Right. I mean, on the release of the game. I could be wrong.
I got you.
For non-ranked mode, you can do any number, but I think going forward for maybe I'm thinking ranked, you could do just 2 people. I think it's just because 3 people, it kind of puts one person in a very awkward spot, but, whatever.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I really enjoyed the game because the matches are quick, and as long as you can get through get to another match quickly, you're going right into another match, and so I like that fast pace to it, and it's just kind of refreshing to not just be killing other people all the time. The focus is on this mode anyway is to paint the area with your color, and so you got different weapons which are basically paint guns. And so I tried all 4 of them. You had the roller, you had the dualies, which are basically 2 handheld SMGs, and then you had your basic auto rifle style gun, and then the sniper style. And I have to say the sniper is hard. That was difficult.
Yeah, they're very hard.
You can't really spread out the paint very well if you're not shooting other people. So it was more focused. To me, it felt more focused on you want to try to eliminate the other characters than actually paint your area. So the roller I couldn't get a handle on that either. at first because I just need more time with it, but I just felt more comfortable with the dualies. I think those were definitely my favorite. And I didn't even use the dodge mechanic at all.
Oh wow, really?
Nope. I was just like going into my squid form the whole time.
Yeah. So that's definitely an option, just because squid form is so good. But it's a balance mechanic because you can only do it if there's paint of your team's color there. And that's really what I enjoy about Splatoon, because you could take your average third-person shooter type game, and then you just completely warp your expectations. Like, all right, so you got this movement ability. What is it, like a dash or a run? No, you turn into a fucking squid and you send through ink. It's like, what? What are you talking about? And it doesn't make sense. It's such a weird concept, but it just opens up to like such ridiculous types of gameplay, because you can like paint up the vertical side of a wall, which doesn't count for the actual scoring mechanics, but you can use it then to climb that wall and then get to higher elevation areas. So it leads to some really interesting stuff. People in the gaff thread were just posting some of their favorite gifts of the weekend, and there was this one person who was being chased, and literally he turned the corner, and because paint was on the side of the wall, he just turned into a squid and hopped on the wall. And the guy that was chasing him didn't know what the fuck happened because he thought he was just like moving forward. Then the guy transforms back behind the guy and just kills his, the guy that's chasing him. It's just like, just mind blowing, because most people aren't going to think like that, because we're just so accustomed to crouch, run,
normal
prone position, right? Stuff like that.
War or some shit.
Exactly. So
the character's not disappearing in front of your eyes.
So it was really fun. I liked. They had four maps in rotation, I think.
I only played two. I only saw two.
Yeah. What were the first two? It was God, I can't remember now. Their names are so weird.
Yeah, I don't remember the names, but one was like a skate park looking kind of.
Yeah, the skate park was awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, and then you got to see a little bit about the world. You can go through the hub world a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Inkopolis.
Yeah, and visit the different shops. And I'm actually really excited for that aspect of the game, the unlocking of things, because as you know, I'm a big Borderlands fan, and that's basically a looting, shooting type of game. So I'm excited to see that and how that plays out, because it does appear like all those different things are going to affect your character, like your hat, your shirt, your shoes, whatever. Have
your weapon.
Different stats and stuff. So getting those unlocked and opening that stuff up seems like a nice progression system to have in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the thing is, you can really tweak and customize the characters depending on your equipment, which they prevented you in the demo Splatfest, just because I think they didn't want newcomers to be too overwhelmed, right? Or have like people who are experienced just absolutely destroying people because they had like the better equipment or whatever. But you can customize it to stuff where it's like your ink refills faster if you're more interested in just shooting and painting and progressing that way. But there's other ones that are more combat focused. This, that, and the other thing. So it really changes it up.
And it seemed like you can definitely get your character set up to support, or to like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Get a team composition together and really enhance each other's abilities. Like you said, like you could have somebody who's more focused on eliminating the other team, and then someone else who's more focused on getting the paint on the ground. So those things can support each other, like depending on how you spec your character, which like I enjoy that kind of stuff, because I'm much more of a support character, and I want to be able to do that and like gear my guy towards that aspect, which is what you can do here, which is pretty cool. And like you said before, like the game is so weird. I mean, the concept is just way out there, but everything makes sense when you're looking at it in the game, and it all works so well with what you're doing and what the game is, and like the whole sea like creature theme like works, which is like, it doesn't sound like it would, but it actually works really well.
Yeah, I think they really did a good job with all the NPCs and the characters, like the one dude in the food truck, and he's like a fried shrimp kind of thing.
Yeah, he's like tempura or something.
Yeah. It's like, all right, you're cool, and just like I think there's a clamshell guy, Shelly, whatever his name is. But yeah, it's really cool, and they're all very well done and detailed. I know a lot of people, when it first was unveiled, people thought it was going to be like Splatoon 1 or like 1.5 or whatever, just a port. But people have done some comparisons from the first two games, and just like the resolution helps a lot, but even the character models are a lot more detailed and whatnot. So, it just adds to the quality of that game. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. So for people who didn't know, it was a Splatfest that happens between two teams where like it's like one thing versus another thing. So I think it started off in Splatoon 1 with like cats versus dogs, and it just went, through all this stuff like ketchup versus mustard and, all this other crazy shenanigans. But
and
the Splatfest
for this, Japan was like rock
Yeah.
versus pop.
Rock versus pop, and I think rock won.
Mhm.
So it's not surprising. But for America and Europe, it was Team Cake versus Team Ice Cream. And
Was it Team Cake? There was a Team Cake? Cause
Yeah. It's funny because literally not too long after you're like, I gotta go, I fought a Team Cake. I actually wound up fighting, I think, 3 or 4 Team Cakes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But it was pretty cool, even though there's a lot of Team Ice Cream versus Team Ice Cream.
And it was closer than I thought it would be.
Dude. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so how'd that wrap up? Like, because, I mean, some of them were not close, but the votes were not close. But
yeah, like the popularity was 3-1 in favor of Team Ice Cream. But then you go to team-based battle, and I think it was like 53 to 47% or something like that. But then you go to individual queue, like solo queue, and it was 52 to 49 or something like that, 51 to 49. And you're just like, wait a second, what the hell? Like a 1% difference actually decided the winner in that Splatfest, which is pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's coming out this week, actually. If you guys listen to this before Friday, it's coming out Friday. So.
Yep, this Friday. Should be pretty popular. In Japan, it's fucking insane. I posted pictures in Slack, and I think Kotaku even wrote an article on it. But this weekend, there was a decently large refresh of Switches across the nation, and people were lining up in the cities for blocks, it looked like, just for a lottery. Mm-hmm. Because the way Japan does it is you get in line, doesn't mean you're guaranteed one. Because they want to, I don't know, guess do it more fairly. They let you get a lottery ticket, basically, and then they say, all right, come back at this time, and then we'll announce the winners of the lottery. And if you have that number, you're allowed to purchase a Switch. And I think there was over 1,000 people for 200 Switches available. It was absolutely insane. And Splatoon is probably the most popular game to come out of Japan, in the past 5 years, I'd say. So it's insane. They're even doing like merchandise with it, not just like accessories that you would expect for Switch and all that shit, but I think they're doing a clothing line based on the clothing in the game. So yeah, that's just insane. We shall see.
Cool.
I'm really disappointed that Jim, didn't sign on.
We talked about it. We talked to him about it. Like, oh, it's coming on. Get ready or whatever. And
yeah, even on the podcast last week, download the freaking thing, man. You can download it now, so you're ready on Saturday. Doesn't do it. Oh, I haven't turned on my Switch. It's like, oh, all right. Well, could lead a horse to water. Can't make him drink.
I downloaded, got everything ready, but my Switch had died, so I had to plug it into the dock, and I actually used the Switch on the TV for the first time. And I did find out that my controller is affected by that Bluetooth thing.
That sucks.
Well. Other than that, though, I have not played much, but I am super hyped for Destiny beta. That is going to be...
Is that today or tomorrow? Or?
Today for PlayStation, tomorrow for Xbox.
Oh, are you staying up to play it?
Well, I have both systems, so I already have it on my PlayStation.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
right.
As soon as we get this stuff done, I'm on that, man.
Good luck. All All right. So I guess Tony, did you play anything else?
No, that was it.
No. For me, I've just been playing more Injustice. Talk about games as a service. This is a fighting game that can do that with the multiverse and all that stuff. And got into a little more competitive stuff lately. Saw my win rate drop from 55, 54 back down to 52. Then I got it back up to 54. So, that's all right. And I also saw that, what was going on with Evo with that. Because, a common criticism of these NetherRealm games is that they're not that balanced. Or, there's like 2 or 3 characters that can legitimately win these tournaments. But so many people were excited that Flash, who is considered mid to low tier, someone actually got to the finals this year with a Flash. Didn't win, but he got there, which is more than most people expected because he didn't really switch off or counterpick too much. So that was a pretty big deal. Hopefully they continue with that. There's still the finals, or most of the competitive players, you will see like some Batman, Superman, Aquaman, a little bit of Red Hood, Scarecrow, and I guess the Flash now, and Black Adam, of course, who is one of the most overpowered characters I think still in the game. But so it's pretty good. You get like almost 8-ish characters out of the 20 or so that are available. But hopefully that means the game can continue to have a competitive following. I'm not sure though, but we'll see. I was happy to see that though, and I don't think I've played anything else though. So that's it for me as well.
All
Do we have anything else to add?
I think that's it.
Nope.
All right, that's the Gamecast then. You can email us at allyoucangeek podcast at allyoucangeek.com. That's right?
No, podcast at allyoucangeek.net.
.net, of course. Follow us on Twitter. We're at allyoucangeek. Go to our Facebook page. We also have our website. Like us on iTunes. We're everywhere. We also may or may not be on YouTube this week, but we're normally there. So you can check us out there too if you want to see our pretty faces. And that's it. Anything else to add, guys, before we go?
Zombear.
Zombie.
Return of the Zombear.